What's going on, Pulsicans? Happy Pump Friday over in Pulse Chain Land. How are you guys feeling today? You guys excited? This feel good? I mean, I look at the secret chart today, guys, and it is freaking blowing past my expectations. We're blowing right out of that range. I'm going to show you guys the secret chart here in a second. A little celebratory for Hex. Hex keeps fucking pumping, guys. Why? You guys quit pumping this shit so I can dollar cost average in. I told you my wife needs to fucking buy, guys. Come on. But before we look at the secret chart, I got a special guest for this Open Mic Friday, guys. This is Open Mic Friday. I'm going to drop the link in the chat here. I want you guys, come on, come all. Let's talk about Pulse Chain. Let's talk about real estate, health, whatever you want. But first, to the stage, we got Back in Black, man. A long time.
I'm back.
People have been asking for you, Dane. They ask if you're okay. If I'm like, man, he'll come back when we have some euphoria.
I'll be the local top signal here. That's right.
Please, my wife's doing some DCA and I want to keep accumulating, and I can't buy these effing green candles, bro. I'm like, the thing just wants to go. I thought World War III FUD and what was it? Dock worker strike FUD would bring us back a zone, and BTC and ETH came back a little bit, but man, we just keep going. So it is fascinating, man.
Good to be back, man. It's fun to see the freaking charts run. Kind of like you said, the secret chart. It's bananas to see Pulse really outperforming ETH. And in fact, there was a Twitter Spaces I was in a while ago. They were saying the same thing we have for a long time, that, man, if you can get Pulse to really run harder past ETH, well, now you've got a really interesting marketing opportunity, because there's not really anything else in crypto right now doing this. And this is a big deal. In fact, a lot of the wallets coming across the bridge appear to be old Hex guys that sold in significant profit previously and buying back. This is great, man.
That is correct. It's not Richard, at least that we know of. I mean, that doesn't mean that Richard couldn't have a couple wallets in there that are new. But like a lot of the chain analysis, these guys are bigger, with Dolphin Sharks. You're right, in the Hex ecosystem, and they're returning. Like the Nick Cherries. I don't know if Nick Cherries returned back, but like I could see him coming back. But man, look at this. This is what we do, man. We love to zoom out on the weekly, put it on the line chart, and just compare it against ETH. I mean, Dane, like the beginning of the week, this was trending down. I thought we were going to come back and do a little bit of retest back in these zones. But no, man. I mean, it just keeps freaking flying up. I mean, this is amazing. We bottom against.
That's an uptrend since like May, roughly speaking, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had multiple months in this bottom, which is a very good sign of capitulation, of a bottoming. I mean, we might see on the bigger time scale, because it's the weekly, this coming down, maybe this coming up, and then coming back down for a higher low on the weekly, and then doing the W out, right? Like I could see that coming down a little bit and then Wing out. I would love to see that on the weekly, because that's just moon time. But look at these. I mean, it's all green, man. Pulse up 8.54%. PulseX 11%. Ink up 8%, lagging against almost everything. I mean, Ink's only up roughly what Pulse is up. That's kind of it's interesting. Things are kind of shifting as far as who's pumping what. But Hex is at 1.7 cents, and even eHex, man, that's up 15%. I'm not sleeping on eHex. I'm glad I picked me up a bag. And it's Solid X, man. They had a little bit of a dip this morning, but it's kind of coming back out. But man, this is just super exciting. I'm happy. And we always have, Dane, the regulars coming on. Mr. Norbert, are you feeling
Hello, guys.
What's up, Norbert?
Welcome back, Dane. Nice to see you.
Man. Thank you.
Are you
What's
feeling
going on? You enjoying the green, yeah? I could hear the beginning.
Dude, this is a party, man. I mean, we've come out of bottom. We've stopped catching the effing falling knife. I got so sick of catching that fallen knife on my DCAs, Norbert, it was disgusting.
I can imagine, yeah, because both of you, I remember you were keep buying, and then it looks like the bottom, it looks like the bottom, and then it probably must have been tiring for you. It's like, yeah, but how many times I thought that it's gonna be
Dude,
the
I
bottom?
thought when Richard tweeted, remember when he tweeted like a month and a half ago or a month ago, he's like, hey, this is where prices were at back at the SEC FUD. And I was like, oh, that's got to be the bottom. I go run on my computer and put in 20 racks. And I'm like, oh, that's good. And then next thing I know, like it was good for a few days. And then,
The dip that keeps dipping.
and then it was like, what?
Come on,
Richard,
man.
you told me. Oh, not financial advice, right? Guys, we don't give financial advice either. We're just dudes on the internet speculating on our own money. Go buy stocks and bonds, like Sami always says. So where are you going?
You know,
over?
this financial thing I never understood, man, because at the end of the day, you are the one as an individual person, not yourself, but each and one of us make our own decisions. So how comes that you are able to blame someone else for your own decisions just because you heard something? I mean, if we have this saying in Hungary, if someone tells you to jump off the bridge, you're not gonna jump off the bridge, in it, you know. So it's just not gonna happen.
If the water's deep enough, Norbert, I might. I mean, I'm a risk taker.
Yeah. But you see, you do your due diligence. Maybe you send Dane down. You know, hey, can you have a look at how deep the water is? You know, is it safe to jump? And then you make your own decision. You know, and then you jump. But you're not gonna jump because Dane tells you, like, hey, man, jump.
Or sometimes you have trust that the water's deep enough, and you didn't do your due diligence, and you're just like, hey, we're in the middle of the ocean. This would be good. I'll tell you a story. We were on that yacht mastermind, and Dane jumped off from the third floor of the yacht, and he hit bottom, where he probably thought he was good.
I thought it was deep out there, man. Yeah,
but he hit bottom. It's like he didn't do his due diligence.
But you didn't hurt yourself.
No, it was fine. Yeah.
Did you hurt yourself?
No, it was deep enough. I was fine. Yeah, it was more just a brush with the bottom, more surprise than anything. But yeah, like Corey is saying, that was completely unexpected. I mean, it looked like we were out. I mean, we were off the coastline. Yeah. I mean, a good 80 feet, 100 feet. I thought we were good, but yeah.
You're in the middle of the ocean. You're like, you think you could jump off a boat, but you didn't do your due diligence, sir.
Yep, that's right. This is a good comment. If you guys have not seen Corey is looking freaking awesome with his half kick. It is incredible. So shout out to Corey, man. It's been awesome.
The Brizology's been coming on here along with How I Made and freaking asking me to take my damn shirt off. I'm like, no, it's not happening, bro.
Corey's been doing streams without his shirt on without me.
No. No, Norbert can contest, right? You could no, sir. Frank, are you on? You're muted.
We have half fun and wisdom. Half is Corey, fun is Dane, and wisdom is Frank.
Yeah, I feel like Corey's usually the fun one in our working relationship. So
yeah, I'm the goofball. The one like when we go and I'll be screaming from stage, and then like Dane's very logical and calm, and so like it's a yin and yang, where I'm like just like in front of everyone's face screaming and jumping up and down and trying to get everyone excited, and Dane's like, nope, let's calm down now and meditate. That's literally how we do it. Like, it's literally how we do it on stage too. It's crazy. It's just our personalities and life. It's how we are. So it's
you guys make a great pair.
Yeah, man.
And a great couple too. You know.
No great couple. I mean, a couple of business partners. That's about it.
That's right.
I had to throw that one in here. Yeah, it's pretty exciting to see what's going on. I was on the golf course this morning, and our friend Crypto Bill texted me and said, "Hey, again." So, that's exciting. And not to say I was right or anything, right? But I love to know to say something that's spot on. And about a month ago, we were on the show. I was on the show, and I said, you know what? Or this is probably 2 months ago. Hex is going to move when nobody's thinking about it. When everybody's forgotten about Hex, it's going to move, and it did it. And then it's so exciting that it did that. So, yeah.
It's remarkable. I feel like they're going to take turns, and this is almost proof that the rotation around of money is just going to go around as everything's pumping, even though the other assets are pumping, with it. It's not as much. But like, if you remember the last time, it was Ink. Ink was the star of the show, right? And then like now it's kind of Hex is the star of the show, and we'll see if that continues throughout the entirety of the rest of the year. This kind of altcoin season that we're going into. I would say, man, don't forget to look at the most undervalued RH asset right now, because Frank, when Ink was the star of the show, Hex was the most undervalued asset of the RH assets, and everyone was sleeping on it, like you said. What are people sleeping on right now out of the cores, right? Well, in my opinion, it's Pulse. Does it mean Pulse is going to go and be the star of the show here in 2 months? Doesn't mean that. I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball, but it is what happened last time with Hex. And I want to keep that. And like, I remember thinking like, well, why am I holding Hex anymore? Like, if people are going to buy nothing but Ink and Pulse X, like, why am I even holding Hex, right? Like, and you start having these thoughts, and you start having like, okay, well, and you're having those thoughts now with Pulse. It's like, why am I holding Pulse if it means it's a bottom kind of against the other assets? If you're having those thoughts, because that's what happened last time with Hex, and freaking now Hex is the star of the show, which I love Hex, dude. I love Hex. I am happy Hex is back. I'm happy.
Yeah, think about it. It only needs to do a 25x to get to all-time highs now.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
That's nothing. It could do a 5x and then another 5x
by end of the year. Oh, for sure.
So
but
Donovan.
But my point was there, Frank. I just want to make sure that Pulse right now is the big, I think, the underdog. It's everyone's sleeping on it. No one's really talking about it. Everyone's talking about Hex. I still see some chatter about Ink and Pulse X, of course. Pulse X is a beast. But I don't know, man. I get it. Like, people are like, oh, I feel like the OGs now and all of like the community is most bearish on Pulse now. They're like, oh, we got to keep the gas fees cheap. It's a narrative.
Yeah, you see the narrative.
It's a narrative. I'm just now like I'm seeing the writing on the wall. I could be wrong though. So
Donovan, DIY Investing did a really good video yesterday on the entire ecosystem, Pulse, Pulse X, Hex. It was very encouraging. And he still thinks that Pulse X is going to do really well as Ink. And he's, mentioned on there, he's like, he's not really a fan of staking for cycles. He's more a fan of just the coin itself. So, sure. I mean, hey, it was very encouraging because of what he lined up and the whole LA wave theory, what he follows like religiously. It looks like things are lining up pretty good, actually, with all the coins, from what I could see, what I could tell. So
yeah, Pip Sniper has kind of the same sentiment, although Pip Sniper is short-term bearish right now with Bitcoin. But as in general with the Richard Hard ecosystem and the assets, he's got the same sentiment. He thinks Pulse X is like a minimum 20x, could go much higher, of course. And then so interesting, man. I mean, it's fun. It's
it's nice.
Once we have some. Oh, sorry.
Go for it, Norbert. You're good, brother.
Hey.
And I wouldn't sleep on any valid meme coin. I know, meme coins are kind of poo-pooed a little bit, but there's a lot of meme coins right now that are, I think, poised to do really well.
I agree. In fact, Frank, I think that's a great point. When you go and you look at a lot of the charts, especially versus Pulse, some of the cores, definitely Hex has been stealing a lot of air out of the room. You've seen some of these wallets sell Ink and Pulse X and Pulse to go into the thing that's pumping. And traditionally, that's not a winning strategy. You're selling the thing that's bottoming for the thing that's running. A lot of time you see them come back and do the same and actually lose money between those trades. So don't be the guy that's chasing the current green thing. Be patient. And I'm with you, Frank. We've been talking a lot in our community about some of the charts that look really, really promising that still haven't popped, that still are cheap. And it's exciting. A really exciting time to be here.
I'll share this. So I know I brought the token metrics thing up last week and it kind of bombed on the PulseX thing, but it was, accurate on some of the other things. But they've got a launch pad coming out called Astra DAO, and it's a multi-chain launch pad. And it's been down for a long time. I'm going to buy some more today. And they're coming out with a meme coin, and it's called Lucky Dog. And if you're staked in Astra DAO, you get an airdrop of the meme coin. So I think, I don't know. I think it's going to be a winner. And what do I know? I don't know. I thought Liquidity was going to be a winner. I sold my Liquidity and bought Pulse Chain. No, I sold my Liquidity and I bought I bought Pulse Chain. So what do I know?
What about meme coins on Pulse Chain though, Frank? You're not playing any of those?
Of course I am. Yeah, no, I've got. Oh yeah, I've gotten. And PGDC is not considered a meme coin. It is a meme coin. It's not
a meme coin. Come on,
meme coin to me, bro.
It's a meme coin.
Let's say the founders who we know, I don't think they'd say it's a meme coin. All right.
Well, yes, neither does Tiago of Solid X. Neither does the HOA guys who created the. I mean, dude, everyone likes to say it's not a meme coin. Access says it about his coin. They all say, "Oh, this is not a meme coin. I'm building a store of value." Of course you are, bro. Like
at least there's utility with those. Like I bought obviously
BBC's got utility, but it's still a meme coin. And I like BBC's utility, man. I'm printing money over on 9inch. I make more money over there than I'm making like with any TGC or whatever PTGC as far as passive income is concerned, with no impermanent loss risk. And it's in third-party tokens, so I can sell it off whenever I want. Right now I'm in the bro pool, which is pretty cool. But like BBC's a meme coin. It's got utility. I love that coin. It's actually my second biggest meme coin in my portfolio.
Wow.
If it's gonna do like Cake Man, then happy days. We're all gonna be having a big smile on our face.
It's shown life in the pre-Bitcoin halving altcoin season. It showed life there. It showed that people are interested. It's got a big community behind it. There's a lot of controversy, drama, all the stuff that you need to make a good, coin or ecosystem or protocol, and they got it. Like at first when they first launched, I was very doubtful. I was like, God, you guys kind of dropped the ball. But man, they've really picked up the pieces and done really well. And man, I've got high hopes for it. We'll see. Not financial advice, but Zenith, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I am doing pretty well. I have been busy this week. I mentioned last week of doing a lot of prep for our Q4 thesis stuff. I had all my notes. I built the slide deck. I had all my resources. And then I wake up this morning and I go look at the charts and I'm like, the entire most of the crypto ecosystem's down. Bitcoin's down. Ethereum's down. And then I flip over to GoPulse.com and I'm just like, okay, well now we have to go update everything. Thanks.
Right. Right. When are you doing your show on that? I want to make sure I at least watch it.
Yeah. This Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time over on DGen Roundtable. We're going to be doing the Q4 thesis. I'll give you a bit of a spoiler here. We're pretty much talking about how the election season is going to impact this quarter. We're going to talk about how the Fed's interest rate shift has going to start affecting the macro market and ultimately the crypto markets. And then we're going to start talking about how we're now officially 6 months past the Bitcoin halving. And traditionally, that's when we kind of start to hit that accelerator and start moving up. So we're going to look into that, see what the ETFs are doing. And then, as always, to close it out, we're going to be doing our crypto projects and events to be looking forward to in Q4. Right now, obviously, number one is the Richard Heart ecosystem, or the Richard Heart court case. I think it's going to have some big impacts for the ecosystem. And one of the questions I'm trying to kick around right now is what going on right now? Is it people trying to front run what they might believe as the news event that's going to happen in
a little bit, and it's big giant guys buying the rumor, sell the news. I think we're going to see a pretty good dip after October 31st. I could be wrong about this, so don't. Yeah, but it's it's interesting that we're going into the court case pumping while the rest of the crypto markets are down. The real ironic thing is, or the funny thing is, usually, you know, we are like, oh, RH is pumping the OA. Well, this time it's not, man. All the guys who are doing the big buys, they can trace back and see that they got a bunch of account history on Ethereum or their old Hex OGs who capitulated out and they're coming back in. A lot of old money returning to the ecosystem. People forget how many big, sharks, dolphins, or even whales that we had in Hex because they did get a lot of gains, right? Like Tiago, right? The Firewall, but Firewall never capitulated out of Hex. But you have guys like that, and that will be coming back in because, to your point, Zenith, they want to front run a little bit of the court case, the buy the rumor, sell the news, and people are just like, man, they love trading the macro kind of events. The funny thing is, though, on October 31st, we will know nothing. It's just a date where they're presenting the evidence, and the judge has 2 months. From my understanding, I learned this from Nuclear Herbs, 2 months. So we might have a good Christmas present.
Good Santa rally.
A good Santa rally, but I just, that would be a legitimate kind of macro pumping up pulse chain now. But going to the court case, man, we're not going to get clarity on October 31st.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've been trying to figure out if it's people trying to front run it or if it's just Corey and all of his real estate homies getting into Hex now.
We got a few of them in there.
Volume's up. Volume is noticeably up over the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, there's a couple guys we brought in. Yeah, we got one guy that came in. He put about a little over 400, and then we had another guy. Literally, we just onboarded from this last mastermind who's putting over 200, man. So it's like, it's good, man.
Out there, Meg.
That is really, it's so inspiring. It's amazing what you guys are doing there.
Man, just go to the events and speak their language. Whatever event you're at, it could be anything, right? It could be e-commerce, and talk. You got to make relations, right? You got to make relations from the asset of crypto, right? How does crypto relate to real estate, or how does it relate to e-commerce, or whatever business you might be going and pitching at? And you have to talk their language. That's the biggest thing I've learned. If I start talking about gains at a real estate event, these guys are gonna be like, "Are you a fucking scammer?" Right? Literally, they'll look at me like. But if I talk about, "Oh man, we're making passive income. You can get yourself, 30% over here. You can get 80% over here. The money just comes in every day. The computer does all the work, so it's passive for humans." They get that because they love passive income, and that's what they chase. That's the dream of real estate, and it's not really passive. That's the secret. The gurus never tell you is that real estate passive income isn't passive.
Yeah.
It's the sliding scale of passive to active.
You got to be only the money in deals if you want that true passive, like just collecting mailbox checks. Because even if you have property management companies running your properties, it's still a pain in the ass. You got to hire and fire them, manage them. They're always trying to steal from you. It's freaking just nightmare.
Hey Zenith, can you turn your mic up just a titch?
I absolutely can.
You've got that $10,000 mic, and it's not doing. You don't want to downplay that.
10,000. Wow, my one was $100. I don't know how I sound. I don't know how I sound, but my one was $100.
Don't worry, you sounded pretty good over there, bro. This one here is.
But yeah, guys, this passive income thing I was thinking about last time. In my opinion, and I don't know if you agree with me, there's no such a thing as passive income. It should be called reoccurring income, because nothing grows by itself and then gives you money every day. You have to, connect, transfer some money from A to B, and then like in our case in crypto, then you need to change for a certain token, then you need to interact with the contract, then you need to decide what you want to do, pairing up. So yeah, it's reoccurring income.
Yeah, I agree. But if you have a lot of money, Norbert, you can make money on your money. For example, like I'm invested in a real estate deal. It's this big, they build to rent to hedge funds. And I'm making 20% IRR on that every year. I don't got to do anything, dude. I do nothing. It's truly passive. It sits there. It's going back to my retirement account. I don't got to do anything.
But once before you had to do something, so then there's a reoccurring income. You created something, and that's created other income for you.
Yeah,
That's what
that
my
is
point.
correct. You're either
It's just
gonna.
the word itself, passive income. Passive is someone who is sitting on the couch and do nothing.
It's the
That's a
dream you're
passive
sold as
person.
real estate investors, though. That's the key that you
It's a
gotta
great
like.
carrot. It's a great
Yeah,
carrot.
great carrot, man.
Uh-huh.
Even though, like me and Dane, we think passive income is actually kind of a trap in crypto. It is a lot of times, right? I mean, you can make good passive income. Like right now, I'm in the bro pool and I'm killing it. I love that pool, by the way, guys. Not financial
Yeah,
advice.
I'm in that one as well. It's a good
Not
one.
financial advice. Yeah, but what, Frank?
Bro, what's the bro pool? You have Solid X and Bro?
Well, the Solid X pool ended a long time ago. It's not going on no more.
What are you paired with, Bro?
Bro is no. So you go and stake your single side BBC, your BBC single sided in the BBC pools. You have different meme coins there that you can earn
okay.
in those. One of them is Bro, which is the BitBoy
Yeah. I got
token.
a bag of that.
Now they only have like I think we only got like a week or two left in that pool before they're gonna pull it, and then but Hexy Bastard was on the stream last night, and he says once we pull the Bro pool, we have 7 to 9 more pools to line up for you. So
and it's literally no risk on it. You just put your BBC token there, and that's it. Happy days.
Yeah, sell the other token. If you don't want to keep them, sell them into the tokens that you want, right? Like, Bro, I am stacking that on the side, like a little bit. I'm like, if BitBoy comes back and starts beating the drum, maybe it pumps. I feel like it's bottom. I could be wrong. It could go to 0, but like I'm earning it.
Do you mind not sitting on the wall?
Free,
Oh, yeah.
What's your guys' thought on the idea? Does this actually hold any bearing in the case? If you walked into the court case later this month and you were able to say, hey, look at today's prices on the ecosystem, no investors, all investors have been made whole because prices are at a certain level. Does that hold any weight in the case? Does that matter at this point? Is that just a narrative? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, real quick, from my
Are you asking
understanding,
sentiment or technical?
yeah, that's true. That's true. Because technical, Dane, I'll kind of
sentiment. It's dope. Yeah, I think actually technical. I don't think it really matters.
Technical.
I think it actually kind of matters on both.
They're not debating and not. This case is not about like if the SEC is right or Richard's right. It's a matter of like why this is not relevant in New York and why it should be dismissed. So like the SEC can't come in and present price chart pumpage or whatever as proof of investors not getting scammed because that's not what they're talking about.
Sure.
But emotionally, like you would think the judge, sentiment wise, you think the judge would be looking at everything, and if things are green, I don't know.
Sure.
So let's break it down a little bit. So there's actually the 5 things that the SEC is suing Richard Hart over. The first, and Richard Hart is pushing back on and asking to be dismissed. The first off is jurisdiction, saying that does not have jurisdiction, therefore the case should be dismissed outright. Second off is I think it's the timeline. The third is the amount, the disclaimers for fraud is what they're claiming. They're claiming that he's committing fraud. And then fourth is the actual investment contract. Fifth is the freedom of speech stuff. So in the investment contract argument from the SEC, one of the things that they do point out is that like they kind of straw man their own Howey test, and they say that because it technically passes the Howey test, however, when we look at a totality of the circumstances and we take everyone's individual actions together, and that it's an enterprise designed to make money, that's how they're kind of just shoehorning it into the Howey test, saying that we do think this is a security and we think that they are illegally trading securities and offering them. That is one of the things that kind of relies on sentiment, in my personal opinion, and I think it does so very poorly, and I think this is bad faith by the SEC personally, which is that they are adding in this nebulous like duty of, oh, we're here to protect people and we think that this is bad, therefore it's bad. So that's where sentiment can come in. But even then, if you read the response to the response by Richard Hart's team, they do point out very specifically, like, this is like, hey, we never made this argument. You're making it yourself, and you're doing a poor job, by the way. But they also say that it's pretty much like, because the sentiment you're trying to wrap sentiment up in this, even though it's not in the letter of the law. But the other weird thing is that in the SEC's own argument, they also cite that they think that this is an issue and that it's complained about because people, the price is dramatically dumped. Remember that the SEC's response to this came out in like, it was either June or July.
You know what? You're right. I remember that part of the reading of the response. I actually forgot about that.
Well, I remember this because Nuclear Herbs almost blew a gasket over this one with me. He was like, why is price down? Because you people funded it. And now they're trying to use that as an argument against the thing that they're trying to go after. Yeah,
right.
Chuck was not happy about that one. But
That's great.
to get back to the technicals, like, does price matter? Theoretically, it should not. I personally think that the jurisdiction question, in my personal opinion, I am a little bit biased because I am an investor, obviously. But I think the jurisdiction question does not work in favor of the SEC. I think the fraud case is just gross abuse of power because they specifically ignore plain language disclaimers in front of everything all the time just so they can cherry pick like a few sentences out of like 8-hour streams. And they're like, oh, yep, there it is. There's the intent. It's like, no, the intent was every time he talks about this, he tells you this is not an investment contract. This is not financial advice. You got to do everything yourself. And it's like, we're just going to ignore that and find the parts that we like. It's like, that's another big one for me. And then finally, the First Amendment argument, I think, has the potential to be damaging, but I don't think it's going to be the one that they want to touch. If anything, I think they're probably going to stick to jurisdiction, fraud, and the investment contract stuff. So on the technical scale, like, price action really doesn't matter for that part. I mean, the SEC is trying to claim that they've been defrauded because price went down, but at the same time, it's like you just said, price is way up right now. So does everyone not get defrauded or what? So that's a flimsy argument.
That's a good take. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty comprehensive. I don't even know if I can follow up with that.
Well, real quick, I would like to ask about the First Amendment part of the argument. Wouldn't you say, because like, it took me, and that's because I'm a simpleton, right? I don't have the genius IQ and like understand like how code is freedom of speech. I'm not a dev. Like, if I can't understand that, and I get it from all the cons, now I get it, but it's took me a while. How do I expect like the judge and them to understand this whole First Amendment with code and freedom of speech? Like, it took me a minute to try to like get this, and it's still, I'm like, how's fucking code freedom of speech? Like, I get it. You publish something, and then it's like everyone can see it, but like, if I'm having problems with it, I think the judge is.
No,
that's why
I think you might be mystifying it a little too much. I think it's actually not too crazy. First off, the judge is going to be very familiar with case law, so they are going to be able to understand and have access to the records and should know about all the different issues that are pertaining to the case. Like, if you go look at any of the briefs that have been released, there is like the first 5 pages is just a list of all the cases that they pulled arguments from and say, because this was accepted and because this one over here was not accepted, we can create these lines of argument and these logic flows. But the basic idea for code of speech is the idea that you have, as an American citizen, you have the ability to express your ideas in the town square or pretty much anywhere you want. And wherever you do that, including the internet, is just an extension of that. If your idea is an idea for a product, a design, a market, or a little script, a piece of code, that's your idea, and you want to communicate it to other people, you have the freedom to do so because you can share ideas however you want. If you're telling people that they can't publish their ideas online, then that is active censorship against the First Amendment.
Wow.
Well
Nothing
stated.
too crazy. It's just saying, it's like you have the ability to exercise your rights everywhere, including the internet.
Including through internet, blockchain. And wow, that's very interesting. And then people can buy my ideas.
Well, there's that too. Free enterprise. It's a wonderful
right. There's free enterprise along on top of my freedom of speech. That's the part where it's hard to comprehend. And I think it would be for also, a judge who really doesn't understand blockchain, crypto. And I'm sure they're doing some due diligence and some research now, and they are getting smarter about it. But like, I can't imagine her not even Richard Hart's judge not trying to like dive deep and understand the world of crypto. You need to, but if they don't, I know it's gonna be tough.
So the good news about this case in particular is that the judge that's on it actually has been the sitting judge for a few other crypto or like digital asset cases in the past. So it's not this is a novel idea to them. They're pretty familiar with it. Also, this is the this is kind of the court that's in the backyard of the SEC. We're in Brooklyn. It's literally, I think it's the 2nd district. Chuck, don't roast me too hard on this one. But yeah, 2nd district. This is where the SEC does a lot of their operations from. So the people that operate in this area are going to be well familiar with these ideas, especially considering over the last 5 years, the SEC has been pretty active on this one.
Right.
Fortunately.
Wow.
It's kind of like we talked about before. Yeah, it's better to be at the back of the line with being on the chopping block versus being one of the first ones you have case law to stand on and some of that stuff. It's really positive, all things considered, which is good.
Absolutely. To give you a bit of hope, or the bullish case on this one, is that we've had a series of really good rulings for the crypto industry, and specifically the SEC has been absolutely demolishing their win rate, because previously, before Gary Gensler's leadership, the SEC's win rate in court was like 98% or higher. It is substantially dropped since then, and there's a few big ones that have really opened the floodgates. First off was Grayscale, when the courts pretty much came back and told the SEC, you are arbitrarily applying your rules however you want, and Grayscale should not have been denied 2 years ago, so go ahead and stop denying them now. Next up, we have XRP. XRP was a big one as well, saying that it was not a security. And then after that, we have a series of other issues that are not necessarily legal or binding by any means, but the SEC was launching investigations into places like Ethereum was a big one, and then a few other cryptocurrencies. When they're launching investigations, what you're typically anticipating is some sort of accusations or indictments coming down. They abandoned those investigations, which means they had to back away from it. Additionally, my favorite, I'm going to keep shouting this till the day I die probably, the Debtbox case was such an egregious malpractice of law that it actually shut down an entire branch agency in Utah, and the director of that agency stepped down, and the 2 agents that were responsible for the malfeasance resigned, aka were told you can either leave or you're going to be fired, so take your pick.
Yeah.
So right now, the SEC is on a bit of a cooling streak, and the crypto industry as a whole is on a bit of an upswing. So I think there's good news here.
Yeah. I can tell you they fucked up my Debtbox position. Thank you very much, Gary Gensler. but
you killed it in Debtbox. So I mean,
I made a ton of money over there. Yeah, and then they stopped the gravy train. So what are you gonna do?
What was your original question, Dane?
Sentiment, right?
Yeah, we were talking about whether or not, if you were Richard, if you pumped the price chart and you got everybody made whole, that was a sacrifice, or if that mattered. So that's what led to this conversation. It's interesting to consider all the aspects. That was beautifully put, by the way. Really good, Zenith. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time in general to be in crypto, like there's not a lot that's standing out. I mean, unless you guys see things that I don't, there's not a lot really standing out as far as price performance is concerned right now in crypto. And it's an opportunity to really steal the limelight, steal the show, and shine a little bit. This is marketing, and this is what Richard was known for with Hex. Ideally, you hope to see it again. I feel like we're seeing the beginnings of it now.
Yeah. Wouldn't he want, though, if there was, I don't think the OA's pumping it or Richard's pumping this price chart, but if he was doing that to try to like get the sentiment, to win over the judge or whatever, right? Wouldn't he, here's what I don't want, wouldn't he pump Pulse X and Pulse? Because those are the sacrifices.
I think the correct answer is he would do nothing. Because is that it's the investment contract. And one of the things that Richard Heart has specifically been doing ever since the SEC dropped the allegations, or started the allegations rather, was that he's been making Pulse Chain and Hex and every part of it a lot more decentralized, trying to show that he's actually not involved. It is just a thing that exists out there that individuals can interact with. And specifically for the investment contract stuff, one of the things they're going to try to prove is that other people have an expectation of profits based on his work or the work of people that he's hired. Right. So if he's the one pumping price, theoretically it could damage his case, saying that this is not an investment contract. They're saying, no, you are doing work that is yielding rewards for other people that they have expectations of you to do. So is it possible that the OA can act independently? Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, in the eyes of the less educated public, as you guys were talking about earlier, yeah, it can very easily be construed to look more like that investment contract.
Mm. I mean, you've had the sack wallet buy before, you know what I mean? What changed where you didn't see the sack wallet step in and all of a sudden you see it step in and start to buy? I mean, like openly advertise those buys. You know what I mean? You definitely could have obfuscated that, but openly advertising, I mean, I could think of lots of reasons why you do that, but as far as the actual case is concerned, you make a good point there.
You mean like the March pump?
That one?
Yeah.
Was that at what level did the OA wallets buy Ethereum? It was like $3,600 or something around there, I want to say.
37, I think it was, but yeah.
I mean, so technically they have obfuscated it a little bit, which is that after the sacrifice, the funds from the OA wallet and the sacrifices were split to many different wallets, and they've been operating somewhat independently now a little bit. But at the same time, it's blockchain, it's trackable. As long as you're not using a mixer, it's pretty trackable. And I haven't used a mixer that would get them in trouble. So,
right.
Well, that's all bullish news in my opinion. So I like it, man. I like it a lot. You have previous law experiences in it?
I used to be a law enforcement officer. So I was a Coast Guard officer. I used to do drug and migrant interdiction down in the Caribbean. And then as part of the old training, I had to take some law courses at the Coast Guard Academy. And for a while there, I was trying to be one of the high-speed guys and actually go make a career out of that. But then they said, no, we gave you an engineering degree. The desk yearns for you. So they put me behind the desk.
Yearns for your companionship.
Yeah, they say the seat must be filled.
That's funny.
Oh,
I can't complain though. It was good stuff. But yeah, I primarily specialize with like international maritime law. And then as a result, you get trained up on a lot of the stuff for like constitutional law about like the different amendments. And like as a boarding officer, you can't just go randomly search whatever you want. You have to actually have like, I don't know, reasonable suspicion. What a shocker. But also at the same time, we do some interesting things as the U.S. and we kind of assert our authority on the high seas if things are in question. And unfortunately, I think that the SEC has been kind of ruling the same way here, which is that even in this case, one of the arguments they make is that like, oh, you can't claim that cyberspace is nowhere. Therefore, we're just going to kind of like claim jurisdiction when we want to. It's like, I don't know if you can do that, boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even all this time, the SEC as well, you know, like how many years they had to come up with plans and solutions and clear regulations and directions and certainty for the investors and the people. And none of those happened. The only thing they can do, I think you've done something wrong. So I sue you. Come here. We need to talk about it. But
that's the exact same.
Other stuff happened before. It's like, I don't know.
An example of what you're talking about right there is that Gary Gensler's famous for getting out on TV and talking about how the crypto industry says, oh, please regulate us. We want to be in the rules. And they just go and violate our rules. It's like, no, you lay out very specific, clear rules. The crypto industry literally toes the line, does exactly what you say, and then you're just upset about it. So then you kind of read in these magic readings and be like, the totality of the circumstances, when we add it all up in aggregate. And it's like, no, you're just unhappy about what's going on here. The perfect example of that is the Richard Hart case, by the way. If you go look at the briefs or the motions to dismiss that the Richard Hart team files, they are very specific, they are pointed, and they are very factual, and they follow that logic train perfectly. You go look at the SEC response, it's very wide and like all encompassing and saying, well, it's all these different things. And when you look at all this together and like, we think that it might be here, so we're going to go ahead and pursue it. It's like, as a law enforcement agency, although they technically are not, they're more of a regulatory agency. That's another conversation for another day. But the benefit of the doubt in the initial proceedings is given to the SEC because it's like your job is to go find bad actors. Therefore, we believe that you're actually going to do that. But when you get in front of court, the burden of proof is now on you. So we kind of give you the benefit of the doubt when you're looking for people, but now it's time to prove the case. Now, this is really where the rubber meets the road for you. So unfortunately, I think because of that power and the fact that lawsuits are expensive and lengthy, a lot of people end up settling, and the SEC has been able to get away with their regulation through enforcement instead of regulation through regulation.
It's interesting, man. So, I mean, you've done a lot of research and studying it, and you understand it on a level I don't understand it, obviously. What would you, and Nuclear Herbs would never comment on this because he's an attorney, but you're not an attorney. So let's ask, what do you think is going to happen in December, the 2 months after? Do you think you get dismissed? Do you think there's a high likelihood of it? And if it doesn't, what do you think happens after that? Because from my understanding from Nuclear Herbs is that they have to go now and do the normal court proceedings, and they're going to go through the rigmarole, like what they're actually suing for, right? Like that's what they're going to go down. And yeah, talk about both of those scenarios. I would love to hear your input now on that.
So this is where you kind of get into the metagame of law and understanding why people do the things that they do.
And it's
So-
not law advice or financial advice for any of you guys. It's we are
advice.
speculating on our own ideas and money here. That's it. That's all we're doing.
All right, listen up, gang.
Let's do it. You know?
Here's what we got. So one of the reasons that a lot of people settle is because when you settle, you are technically not making an admission of guilt or anything is binding per se. It's still kind of ambiguous, and both parties have come to an agreement and therefore are walking away after the agreement is exchanged. Unfortunately, what the SEC has run into is they've run into a person who does not want to settle, is not willing to settle, and has the money to fight it for however long they want. Which, by the way, that really pissed off the SEC. You can go see it in their opening statement of their rebuttal. They're not happy about that.
Really? Yeah,
Correct.
go.
Correct. So, because of the fact that Richard Hart is willing to press this all the way forward and not really settle, again, he's in it for the glory. He's trying to win. So what that does is that if this actually goes through the entire process, you're going to get that good old case law, and whatever happens could stick. So because of that, I think that the SEC might be incentivized to not go all the way through if they think that there's a good chance they're going to lose, which I would argue there's at least more than a coin toss that they are not going to win this one. So possible actions could be the SEC withdraws its complaint. They could just drop it altogether. Or if they actually lose, it's going to be very bad for the SEC. And then they're probably going to do some normal nonsense, which is just continue to try to appeal it if possible. to
Like
drag it out or
XRP.
get it overturned. Yeah, exactly like that, actually.
Yeah.
So the answer is, I think that it's that thing where they've been like trying to extort people, but then they just tried to extort the man that does not care. And he says, okay, let's go. And I personally think it could scare the SEC a little bit, but at the same time, I think that they've had minimal pushback even on their own failures. So it's possible that they make a foolish play and try to see it all the way through. I think there's a decent chance it gets dismissed. There's also a decent chance that the SEC backs away from this one. There is unfortunately a very small chance that Richard Hart could lose, but I think it's much smaller than either of the other two.
Yeah. If they play it all the way through, what's your opinion on timing?
If I was one of the lawyers from the Richard team,
What was that?
I was asking what would timing be on that? If it plays all the way through, what would you project on timing? The XRP case took like 3 years. Did it not?
I'm not as familiar with the XRP case, but unfortunately the timelines for legal procedures are very, very long. Because remember,
Yeah.
the Richard Hart original accusation was filed July 31st, 2020.
Three.
And then, yeah, we got the first response from the Richard Hart team in like April 4th, I want to say. And then after that, it was like 60 days to get a response, and then another 60 days to get another response. Timelines are long. So again, like you mentioned, the judge pretty much has 2 months to make the decision after the hearing. Even after that, there's probably going to be another 60-day period where the SEC has the ability to something, and then if they do file the appeal and the appeal is heard, this can get dragged out for probably even another year, honestly.
At least.
And my thought is, I don't think it's. I mean, I know it impacted price when it was announced, right? Because you could clearly see it in the chart, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just going to throw this out there that it's kind of like the PHEX EHEX debate that we had for 2 years coming up to this event, coming up to this point where we just were talking about it, right? So, and none of it's come to its fruition. So I'm gonna assert that whatever we're thinking the outcome is going to be good or bad, it's going to be mind-blowingly different than what we all expected. I'm going to say in a good way.
I love
There,
that.
I just topped it off with a cherry.
I mean,
Wow.
the
Yeah.
thing that I think is going to at least help the community, and honestly, like the entire system overall, is that you're actually just going to have an answer, hopefully. was that it's no longer going to be a
That's-
question. It's no longer going to be up in the air. You're going to have an answer. So then after that, we can see that the line was drawn in the sand and we can make moves as a result.
Yes. Yes. Clarity. That's I was supposed to say
Yeah.
all the time on the show. And the clarity doesn't have to be 100% all in favor of RH, positive. Like it doesn't need to be that. Like just clarity and like you said, understanding where we stand, where our investments at, and moving forward now, everyone's got a clear picture. So
True. At the same time, if anybody out there is rubbed the wrong way by Richard Hart for everything that happened before this, I can understand that. But also at the same time, please understand that this is going to be a lot longer. Richard Hart and whether or not you like the guy. This theoretically is going to have ramifications for the rest of the industry as a whole, and
yeah,
could have some big impacts. So, I mean, I'm not even a huge Richard Hart fan myself. I mean, you can go back and watch the book club episodes when we read Sci-Vive and I was pulling my hair out slightly, but like I think he does this very well. I'm not saying he's the greatest author, but I think he's made a very good crypto product and I like it in that regards. And I think that he's followed the law to the best of his ability. And I think he's going to come out on top on this one. Like him or hate him, I think that this is bigger than just Richard Hart. And I hope that people are able to see that and understand that.
yeah, I agree.
This is a good question. Yeah, the beyond all puts here. Yeah, would they wait till this stage if they're going to abandon it? I mean, I think you've got to kind of see how the cards fall, and before you can make a decision on whether or not you're going to abandon something. And in my opinion, I mean, you guys can agree or disagree with me, but I think they're waiting to still see how the chips fall, and I think they need to see where the judge stands before they make a determination if they are going to pull out, type of thing. Would you guys agree with that?
I would agree. The situation on the ground is evolving and changing. If it evolves and changes further, it can alter the decisions they want to make. Same thing with how they've operated in the past. The debt box case is a good example of that, which is that I'm pretty sure these people knew they were in the wrong the entire time, but they thought they were on a holy crusade, so they continued to misrepresent facts and then double down on their lies in front of a judge when they were asked about it again. So it's like, if you have the balls and the audacity, honestly, to do that and not like have a recourse of your actions, yeah, it's entirely possible they do the same thing here, but also they might, I don't know, actually start to shift their positions, which know that they're doing, whether it was dropping investigations. I think, Gary Gensler got roasted in front of Congress like 2 weeks ago for this.
I saw that.
Great.
They created the was it crypto asset or crypto token security term, and then they rescinded that in the footnote of some other like legal document. And then one of the congressmen was like, "What is this? What is this?" So it's very look. I love it when Gary goes in front of Congress. We get some good sound bites out of it.
We do. Oh man. Well, cool guys. You guys got anything else before we end up popping off? I'm gonna grab a lunch here in a few minutes.
I just want to say some of the meme coins that I like. I like the X token. I like Salad X.
Oh, there we go. That's on Pulse Chain. Yeah.
Yep. I like River. I like River X. I like the Heat token, which are all associated. I like the Bank token. I bought the Cheddar token. It's on Solana.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's done really well recently. I bought it twice and it dumped, and I, didn't catch the bottom, but it's starting to pump, and I actually think that one could do well. But wait, there's a couple more. I like the Stack token, Stacked Italian, and
On Pulse Chain too, right?
Yep. Dang it, I put it. Let me just look real quick. I'll see. I put this in a chat somewhere.
We can now go find Frank's wallet.
Yeah.
There you go. Just find all those, that cross section right there. It'll show you where he's at.
One of the biggest DGen wallets in Pulse Chain right there.
I've only done it. I was doing the straight and narrow until I did that 500 to 250,000 back in January, which the jury's still out on that. But I was having so much fun, and the ups and downs. I learned so much, man. I probably bought 25 to 40 coins, and I was having a ball. And now I'm really starting to see some the results. So, like they say, there's no bad goals, just bad timelines. So on that one, I think the jury's still out, but I think that's gonna well exceed that $250,000.
Like it. Do you guys have any upcoming crypto events for Q4 that you're looking forward to in the next 3 months? It's like allegedly Phantom is going to be launching the Sonic Network as well, but we don't have a date for that. I heard it might be Q4, so I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled for that one. You guys have any other events in the next few months?
Not that I'm aware of. Well, me and Dane, we have a bunch of real estate events we're going to. We got 2 next week, and we're going to be in Texas. If you guys are out in Houston, hit me up, shoot me a DM. Maybe we can meet up or something. You guys can come out. But yeah, that's all we got going on is the real estate. We have a bunch of those. I think they do. There's the next one I know of in our community though is Pulse Chain's doing. There's a Pulse Chain tour, not beyond the Richard Hart case, but like in Vegas in March. I think you've been showing that on your show.
Yes, the Pulse Chain Tour 2025. Get your tickets now. I believe the creator codes are still active for like 1 more week, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we have the best code because we sold the most tickets so far, but
let's go.
But do you have a code?
No, you can shill it, dude. I don't have a code.
All right. I don't want to be a jerk here. But yeah,
you're good. You can shill that.
Yeah, PulseChainTour.com. Go get your tickets for Pulse Chain Vegas next year, 2025, March 6th through the 9th. If you use code DEGEN, DEGEN, I think we can get you a 20% off until then.
That's good.
Or till the end of this week, I want to say. After that, go hit up SJ or RG3. You should have a normal 10% off code for everyone else if you go check.
Yeah, that's the only event I know, man. I know the Token 2024 or whatever out of Singapore just got done. I actually had a guy here in Puerto Rico. He lives a street over from me. He just got back from that. We're going to meet up. Probably when I get back from my trips, but like we're going to meet up and he's going to fill me in on all the stuff that he learned and what went on there. That's like all the new projects, supposed unicorns can be born, out of this event. It's a very techie event, and so like it'd be interesting to hear his input on that. I would have loved to gone, but it's tough, man. These big events are in Singapore, Dubai. Like it's like it's hard if you got a family. How do you take them all? I mean, you could do it, but it's yeah.
Real quick, the pizza token. Obviously, I love it because of the pizza rat. It already has a narrative, which I thought was cool. And Fire and Axis and the Bro token. So
yeah,
for what it's worth, not financial advice, but having fun with it.
Yeah, the pizza, the rat one, all that. I think that's part of the Tang Gang stuff over there, and so you get a little exposure of those guys, and then yeah, that's good, man. So. Cool, man. Well, Zenith, I mean, go ahead and shill your show too. I want to know where people can find you at, and they can follow you guys. Follow Zenith over there, where he's going to shill because man, he's doing his best to bring out the good word of Pulse Chain and all the mindset it takes to be invested in this asset class. But yeah, go ahead and shill it, bro.
Much appreciated. I feel bad. I feel like I kind of took over the show here a little bit. But.
No, man. This is what Open Mic Friday is about.
Good, man.
You guys come on and awesome. You know more. Alpha, that's the crypto word, right? Like when we do about the court case and all the law, and the men do fucking throw up on us. Come out and throw up on it. We want to know. It helps give me more confidence, in my bags. It helps our audience get more confidence. So yeah, don't feel bad.
All right, cool. I mean, at the same time, I'm not trying to lie to myself, and I'm not trying to lie to you guys. I'm trying to be a realistic investor here. And
yeah,
that's one of the nice things about
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of the nice things about having the team over at DGen Roundtable is that I can go hard in all this stuff, and then I have the rest of the guys to do research in all their other aspects too. I mean, granted, I will still absolutely go look at the charts instead of touch grass, but I still have my specialties, and this happens to be one of them. But yeah, folks, you can catch me over at the DGen Roundtable. We have a YouTube channel. We live stream on Sunday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You might notice that one of those. 8. On Fridays, we do book club. Tonight, we're covering $1 Million Fastlane. I am actually hosting that one. But the big show is our Q4 thesis show this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, DGen Roundtable. We're going to be there. I have been building a slide deck that I now have to go change a bunch because the market's moved today. But
that's green.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about the DGen Roundtable? It's kind of a paradox because they're not really DGens. There's so much information that they put on the table to support whatever it is. I mean, a DGen just does stuff, right? They just whatever degenning is, but these guys, they put up a lot of facts and stuff to support stuff. So it's really nice.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Simon,
one more time. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you enjoyed the legal conversation here, come to New York City on October 31st is
31st.
the actual court hearing, and then on November 1st there's a Pulse Chain Tour event live that you can come hang out, and I'm actually on a panel with Chuck and Crypto Coffee, and if you have any legal questions, ask me then and I will be happy to respond. I will be showing up prepared with notes, so I gotta stand up, at least hold a flame to Chuck, because he's probably gonna run circles around me, but I'm not gonna let him, not without a fight.
That's freaking awesome, bro. Thank you so much for everything you do, man. It's awesome. Simon, am I pronouncing your name right? Simon, what's up, bro?
Hello, chaps. Yeah, it's Simon.
Simon. Okay. Yeah, you're coming at the top of the hour, but man, go ahead and what you got going on, bro? What's the good word?
Oh, I'm shutting the new mobile gaming studio. It's coming to Pulse Chain, Wonderwolf. So
Chill it, man. It's built on Pulse Chain. We're all about builders. What is it? Tell us more.
Well, it's a mobile gaming studio, so we're going to use mobile games to market Pulse Chain to like hopefully millions of people. I'd say at least a couple of million. Aiming for 10, that'd be great. And then it's also another avenue for guys that are building on Pulse Chain to market their platforms and whatnot too. In terms of the advertising for Pulse Chain, one thing I'm quite excited about is to see if we have any effect on the pumps, because the first two games are very kind of highly crypto related. So we've got a meme coin shooter and then a crypto personality beat 'em up. And then in the loading screens, we can actually advertise the Hex pumps. So if Hex is doing well and we're up, like today, kind of like 20% in a day, I think it'd be good for kind of turbocharging the pumps as well. Yeah, that's the game plan in terms of Pulse Chain. And then for the guys that are in the Wolf Pack, just lots of yield.
And where do you have like a URL that people can go to, or like where's the front end of this being hosted at?
You can go to wonderwolf.io.
Wonderwolf.io. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's displayed next to my name. And then we've got the Telegram group as well. So we've got a good bunch of guys in there, a lot of OGs and extraordinary gentlemen. So yeah, feel free to come and chat to us.
Yeah, looks like Dylan knows you. He's an OG. You and Dylan buddies.
Oh, yeah.
The Zoomer.
We're acquaintances.
That's good. Keep it acquaintance.
I put up with him.
No, we love Dylan. We do. He's fun to give shit to, though. Cool, man. And on where can people find you on Twitter and all that? I mean, so they can go learn more about this.
Yeah, everything's under the same rubric, so it's all under Wonderwolf. So if you just search for wonderwolf.io, I think on Twitter it's _IO is in the actual name.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll come up as well.
Did Dylan saying you're close to RH? I mean, he made a public here in the street. Are you close to RH?
I've done some work for Richard in 2020, yes. But we're not going to talk about that. I did some consultancy work for Richard. I do talk to him occasionally, but I wouldn't say we were close friends or anything, though.
Okay. Dylan, shut up. You're going to get me in trouble. Well, cool, man. I got to grab a lunch, guys. We've been going for an hour. We are not here next week. I'm traveling all week. Won't probably be back till the following Monday. Reach out if you need anything. If you're in Houston area, I would love to maybe meet up, have coffee, have dinner, or if you want to come to the event, that'd be awesome too. So would have love to have and see you. We'll also be at Cancun. So if you guys are out there, we're gonna be out there for a real estate event. Should be absolute blast. We're planning on onboarding a lot more people, especially from that one. That one I'm very excited about. Should be a lot of high net worth individuals in that room. And so, yeah, it'll be good. But guys, thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. I love you guys. You guys make the show. You're the reason why we're here. I'm super excited. Go touch some grass this weekend. Even though we're pumping, I get it. You're going to want to look at the screen, but go out and do things with your family, do things with your loved one. 10x your life, man. 10x your life. 10x your value that you bring your mankind, so you can bring that value back and 10x your life through crypto. And that's what we're on the mission we're on here. And so, guys, appreciate it. And I will see you in a week. Hopefully, we bring some good news back on some big money we've onboarded. So, talk to you guys soon.
See y'all. Thanks.
Peace.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Take care.